My sister's in-laws, they simply don't like me because I'm gay. So they try to do everything in their power to keep my sister from marrying their son. And I think it's ridiculous and, well, I don't really want to put up with it. But at the same time, I don't want to ruin what she has going. So I'm kind of caught in a loop on what to do. But then it hit me. I can't just let them get away with this, so on her wedding day, I did something. Well, I'll just tell you about it. I'm Adrian, 27 male. I'm openly gay. Some people had a smooth life after coming out to their friends and family, but unfortunately, I was not one of them. To be honest, those constant encounters with people who don't like me made me stronger and proud of who I am. I realized that I was gay when I was 15 years of age, and came out to my friends and family when I was 16. I'd always been very close to my sister. We were almost the same age, 1 year apart, so we used to share all our ups and downs, and that's how we grew up. When she almost got caught sneaking then boyfriend inside her room, I helped her by calling the guy my friend. When my parents grounded her for sneaking out at a nightclub, I was the one who helped them shorten the punishment. She did the same to me too, sneaking out late-night parties, hiding report cards. Yeah, we literally had each other's back. My gay awakening, it happened through a mental turmoil with a seemingly innocent chat with my sister about finding me a girl. Even though I was outgoing in nature and was quite popular, I've never been in a relationship. I feel left out in a friend gathering, and when the desire to feel included and keep my status as a popular kid, I just wanted a partner. When my sister's school-time boyfriend suggested a match with his cousin, I realized I'm not interested in girls. So this led to a moment of acknowledgement I might be gay. So first I explained to my sister that I might be gay for real, and in a span of a few seconds I saw her face get all serious and then lit up with information. She was happy that I was finally accepting myself for who I am, and she also confessed that she's been suspecting it for a year now, but not everyone in my family shared the same mentality. Raised in an extremely religious household, the information about my sexuality was only met with anger and refusal. So the next day, I had to pack my bags and leave the house because in their eyes, I was a sinner. My sister was regretful of what happened, and she also left the house with me, saying she would never leave me alone no matter what. My grandma, who was more religious than my parents, refused to pay the money she was supposed to for our college. Some of our friends and their parents helped us for a few days, but this could not continue. So I worked day and night and various jobs to support us both, determined to ensure my sister could still follow her dream of becoming a physician. So, after years of constant questing, I found success in the real estate industry. Years have passed, and throughout the whole time, my bond with my sister stayed unbreakable. She was my supporter, my only family in a world that had abandoned me. I also met a guy, Elliot, and we have been together for 5 years. He also had the same past as mine. And Adriana and Elliot are like best friends. When my sister finally became a doctor, I threw a huge party for her success. At the party, she introduced me to her boyfriend Josh, who was, also a doctor. He was a polite guy and a fun lover as well. So, naturally, by the end of the party, we became friends. One common thing about us is that all of us are not close to our parents. He grew up with his uncle because his parents were too busy focusing on themselves, so they neglected him. His uncle saw the situation and offered to take care of him, and they agreed without a second thought. Our friendship became stronger when me and my sister went for a double date with our respective partners, and the waiter refused to serve me because of my sexuality. So, Josh became furious with the situation and defended us. I was so proud of my sister's choice. After a few months, Josh proposed to Adriana. When Adriana delivered the news, I was on cloud 9. I was happy for her, and we both were excited to extend our families with like-minded people. Before they started with their wedding planning, I surprised them by saying I would pay for the whole marriage. I owned dozens of wedding halls, and I had a group of wedding planners working under me. So Adriana and Josh made me their bridesman, and put me in charge of the whole wedding planning. I'm not gonna lie, I used to be scared that my relationship with my sister might be scarred after her marriage, but all of these went out the window when they made me feel so included. After about 4 months of wedding arrangements for my sister, the rehearsal dinner came, and my parents were not invited because they didn't contact us after they threw me out. Adriana did not want them there, so I also granted her wish. On our side, we only invited our friends and their family, so most guests were from Josh's side. I was the only family member of my sister, and I had to have a good impression on them, especially Josh's uncle and parents, or else my relationship with my sister, it might be scarred. So me, Elliot, Josh's uncle, and his parents were sitting at the same table. I greeted them and gave them a warm welcome smile. Our table was a bit far from the crowd, because Josh's mom doesn't like crowded places. I wanted to have a table close to my sister, but it was okay, it was just the rehearsal dinner, After a few moments, Josh's uncle and I were busy chatting while Josh's parents were oddly silent the whole time. Our conversation became deep, and I started to pour out my past in front of them. All of a sudden, Josh's mom made a disgusting sound and asked, pointing at my boyfriend, and said, "That's your partner? You're gay?" Their choice of wording came out as a shock to me because they didn't call me gay. They used a very offensive word. It's not like I'm used to these kind of people, but hey, it's the lack of hesitation in their tone that was so shocking. Even Josh's uncle was fuming with absolute anger with their behavior. Even though Josh's uncle shut them down, the silence stayed for only a few minutes. But I was unaffected. There was no way I would give them attention on my baby sister's special day. The day Mom and Dad threw me out was one of our worst days, and I could not bring those memories on her special day. Other than that, Josh is a remarkable guy, and he's not close to his parents, so I thought I just had to bear these brats till the wedding. However, when we did not, give them the attention they were needing, they made a sour face and continued with their nagging throughout the whole dinner. Like how same-sex is illogical, how I'm a sinner, and my parents did well throwing me out. Josh's uncles were adamant about slapping some sense into their head, but I stopped him, and Elliot knows me well. He realized that he did not have a say in it, so he just busied himself on the phone. When it was my time to give a toast to the bride and groom, me and Elliot left their table, leaving them in a more disgusted state when they got to know that I was the bridesman. The next day was the wedding. I was nervous because of the in-laws, of course. They could create a scene and ruin all I worked hard for these past few months. However, as a bridesman and as a wedding planner, I'll be so busy that we probably won't encounter each other at all. But things escalated really quickly when just before the couple was about to exchange their vows, Adriana's mother-in-law interrupted the wedding and said that they won't let their son marry a gay sister. Then her father-in-law stood up and declared, siding with his wife, that if I did not get out of the hall, they would not let their son marry my sister. After all of the drama, they proceeded to call the security without anyone's permission. So I looked at Josh, who was more terrified of the situation than me. Of course, he had no idea what they did at the rehearsal dinner, so Josh just signaled me to throw them out of the hall, and who am I not to follow that wish? I called the security and they proceeded to take them out, and they were struggling to get out of their own hold and screaming their son's name, shouting that why he was so silent. After they were out of the door forcefully, they were still struggling to get in and telling security to throw me out instead. Well, I followed them, and I told them that it was my hall, and if they could not respect other people, they might just as well leave. Well, their eyes were red with anger, and threatened that they would not let this slip by. The furiousness in their eyes, it scared me for my little sister. What if they tried to do something because of me? I tried to stay as calm as possible. It was them who made the matter known in the whole hall. And even though I personally wanted to throw them out, even on the rehearsal day, I only did that when their son was okay with it. Still, I'm worried about my sister, Did I get too extreme by throwing them out? Guys, let me know what you would have done. What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Oh man, today's story is heated up. Can you imagine having to go through all that hatred? Alright guys, there's multiple updates, but listen. If you're new to the channel and you're just tuning in, welcome. My name's Mr. Reddito, and I drop a story like this every single day. And guys, it would be very helpful if you hit that subscribe button, just so you don't miss out on a juicy story. Let's go ahead and jump into the first update. Here it is. Update number 1. A few days have passed since I last told you about all the mess that's going on in my life. But I'm here to update you guys on the situation at hand. Cause a lot has happened. So I got mixed reactions from the story. So let me clear some things up before I tell the incident. Some people are saying it was too much to throw them out of their son's wedding, just because I own the wedding hall. Well, it's not true. I threw them out because they were rude to me in front of all the guests. I might have let it slide if they had done this when it was just me. I think the way that they were commanding me to get out, most people at the wedding would have agreed to throw them out too. And throwing them out was not my own decision. It was their son's as well. When they were being rude to me in front of only a few people, I shut my mouth and didn't do anything. Also, them demanding me to get out of my own sister's wedding was not justifying the situation. By the way, I'm thankful for the people who gave me suggestions regarding the fear I had for my sister. It was really helpful. When they left the hall, we resumed the wedding, and we had a blast. At night during dinner, my sister was insisting on how they got to know that I was gay. So I told the whole story to her, and my new brother-in-law. And Josh felt guilty for the situation I was in because of his own parents, and just continually said sorry on their behalf. And I assumed that, it's fine. I was happy to have a new member of my little family. However, we tried to forget everything and enjoyed the rest of the ceremony, dancing and singing. We went home around 3 in the morning and decided to take leave from work the next day and just rest. Elliot and I went to sleep around 5 and put our phones on silent so nobody could really disturb us until the afternoon. But around 8 a.m., somebody was banging on the door. I woke up to an answer of it, and to my horror, it was my sister-in-laws looking at me like I stole everything from them. So, without delaying a second, they start to scream incoherent languages that I could barely figure out what they were saying, and it was for a whole good minute. As they were making a scene outside the door and grabbing a lot of attention, I just left them inside, and the first thing that they did was to give a tight slap across my face. I'm not gonna lie, it helped me gain my senses back because I was so sleepyhead. Elliot came rushing out after a while, hearing all the screaming. Well, they were furious because they've been staying in their son's house for a few days, and this morning he ordered them to leave the house unless they apologized to me. This is why they were at my home. But instead of apologizing, they just slapped me across the face and accused me by saying because of me and my sister, their son is disowned. Well, a gay like me shouldn't be allowed to live anywhere near human society. Can you imagine? Well, I was not in the mood to go another round with them, so I just picked up my phone and called Joshua, telling him that they did apologize. They were surprised by my actions, and after I cut the call, they left, blabbering something that I could not figure out. I only did that because I didn't want any chaos regarding this matter. So, they're only going to live in their son's house for a few more days. After that, we will not see them very often at all. Also, Josh can't forbid them from getting into his house forever, so I just want them to have a good impression of my sister. That was, we are forgiving. Tomorrow, we're having dinner at Josh's house, and I'm looking forward to see if maybe I've changed their mind how they feel about me. Update number 2. Hey guys, I really should not have let those freaks get their way without apologizing. So, they got so enabled that the level of whatever they do, they won't see me as a human. I'm just thankful that they could not get to my sister because she's straightforward and they were quick to understand that they have to be on her good side to get attention from their son. So let me tell you exactly what happened at dinner. Weirdly enough, The in-laws were behaving well with me. It was creepy, if you ask me, because it was the first time that they were talking calmly with me and not screaming. The reason why we're doing so was evident. Josh was with me all the time, so they didn't want to make their own son mad. Josh, his father, and me were watching the game. I'm not interested in games, but still decided to join because I wanted to feel somewhat included. Well, the atmosphere changed when Josh's father looked over my shoulder and saw me texting Elliot, who he could not make it out because of a work emergency. The first words Josh's father's uttered were that I was old enough to stop messing around with a guy and get myself a pretty girlfriend. There we go again. I think he was, having a serious problem regarding me being gay and living my life. Josh was there, so he scolded his father for his behavior, but I don't know, him being against me, such a brat he was, started preaching about how God doesn't create gay people. It's just a phase that I chose to look cool, and soon I will grow out of it. Well, I realized that these brats would never change, so I thanked him for his concern and told him that I will stick with Elliot. I mean, they were just giving their old-aged opinion and weren't being violent. I can live with that. I've seen plenty like that, and after dinner, Josh's uncle left early for home, and Adriana insisted on me staying with them for the night. His mother-in-law was insisting saying she did not get to talk to me properly. I also had some drinks, and Elliot also called me to say that his office had an emergency and he would be sleeping at his office for the night, so I agreed to stay. After having a quality afternoon, we all went to our respective rooms after bidding goodnight to everyone. But around 2 a.m, I heard a faint knock on the door, and when I opened it, I saw my sister's father-in-law was standing there. He told me that Elliot called me and I left the phone in the drawing room. So I should go answer it, and I was sleepy, so I didn't even think twice, and just proceeded to go downstairs, but when I had a few steps left to climb the stairs, I felt a sudden jolt on my back. Someone just pushed me. The next thing I knew, I was at the bottom of the stairs, groaning in pain, and I was about to faint. I think I broke something. Before I could close my eyes, I saw the in-law standing near me, whispering in my ears, "We should have pushed you out of our son's house the way you did it to us, but this will do for now." So, the next day when I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital. Apparently, I broke my hand and had a cast on the other hand as well. My sister came running towards me and told me how her in-laws saved my life by noticing me soon and taking me to the hospital. The lies that they told were far from the truth. Only I knew that I was drunk that night in a new house, so it was easy to believe it. I decided to discuss the matter with Josh and my sister after I gained my senses properly. Once I was released from the hospital, I discussed the matter with them. Luck was on my side, because Josh said that they installed a security camera in the living room during a party, just to make sure that nobody was stealing, so we could just check it out and take it to the police. Fortunately, the CCTV captured everything, and all of us were left enraged at the cruel act that their remorseless faces also got captured. Instead of confronting them, we reported it to the police. Now we're just waiting for the court hearing. We still haven't told it to the in-laws, but they'll know it soon since the court will be sending them a notice. I can't wait to see their faces, because they might be living blissfully thinking they got revenge, but they have no idea that their nasty act got captured by the camera. Updates number 3. Hey guys, I know it's been, a few months since my sister-in-law tried to hurt me by pushing me down the stairs and breaking my hand. Many things have happened since then, and when the hearing date finally arrived, they refused to go. But eventually they had to, and they were sticking to their lies in court, saying I'm ungrateful for taking their act of kindness as a deliberate attack. But they got silent when the court presented the footage of them pushing me down the stairs and just standing there after it and doing nothing. As I got injured by their actions, they got sentenced to a few months of jail time, along with the fines for my hospital bill. After about 3 months, they got released from prison and showed up outside Josh's house. Josh was clear that there was no way they could stay in that house anymore, but they pleaded that father-in-law was feeling unwell and that once he felt fine, they would leave. Adriana and Josh could not say no at that stage, but just after a few days they got settled with their overly friendly behavior. We all thought jail probably fixed their senses, but we were all so wrong, because on Josh's birthday, when me and my partner got invited for dinner, they went back to their old nature. By nature, I mean calling us the F word in every other sentence whenever we were alone. They were still the same. Even jail could not fix them, so we had to go for other options. To teach them a lesson, we planned a party for my sister and Josh's 6-month anniversary with a twist. It's been a few months, but they're still living in Josh's house, claiming that his uncle took him away from them and now they won't let that happen. His uncle literally saved a young boy from the negligence of his parents, and they surely can twist the words for their own benefit, can't they? Well, we invited around 40 people, and the twist was that the other than Josh and his family, all the guests were gay. When we went to invite them, Adriana and Josh were fake crying in front of them. Because they could not attend the wedding, they arranged the party just for them. Well, Adriana didn't forget to remind them that it's an appreciation for apologizing to his brother and accepting us, which, by the way, don't you remember, that never really happened. The real fun started when they arrived at the party and got the shock of their life. There were dozens of gay people. Couples busy dancing at some romantic numbers. Just by the sight, they were about to leave, but I caught up to them. Josh and Adriana by my side greeted them, saying that as they started off with bad impressions, I wanted them to meet my friends so that we could just get to know each other better. Guys, if looks could kill, I would have been 6 feet under the ground by now. They looked at their son. They knew what he could do if they stayed on his bad side, so they had no choice but to sit and watch a gay party for the rest of the evening. We even keep the center table for them to get the best view. This was quite literally what you would call torture for them. After the performances, me and Elliot, we performed, and to my surprise, the end of our performance, Elliot got down on his knees, and he proposed to me. At that moment, I was so overwhelmed with joy that I almost forgot what the party was even for. But the proposal made those senile freaks even more sour. They got up from their seats and started to dash toward us, screaming that they could not let that sinful marriage happen. Out of anger, they slapped me. So we planted cameras everywhere, so it was recorded. At that moment, I was the happiest man in the world. I got proposed to by the absolute love of my life, which triggered some people who have been, a pain for a while now. And they got captured on camera slapping a gay man for getting proposed to. So now I need to discuss with Elliot and Adriana what they want to do next. You guys can give me suggestions as well, because I really need it right now. Final update. Please subscribe to the channel. So, 5 months have passed and I'm thankful for the suggestions. Most of all, I just wanted to make this public, and I did. I posted the video on social media and posted the CCTV footage of them pushing me down the stairs. They went viral for their behavior towards me because, people went nuts. They even got hunted down, all their profiles on social, and dissed them in the comment section to a level that they had to turn private. Some even complained to the father-in-law's job location, emailing them demanding for them to be fired. The company needed to save their reputation, so they in fact fired him. We also found out that they were living in Joshua's house because they got kicked out of their own home, as they fought with the owner. Josh was adamant about kicking them out as well, and this time nobody stopped him. I heard that they were staying in a motel for a few days, and when they ran out of money, they ended up in a crappy old age home. They tried to contact me a few times to apologize, but I know very well they didn't mean it. They pleaded with me to convince their son to let them in. But instead, I shut the door in their face. I guess we should have done that and cut these toxic brats out of our lives a long time ago. But better late than never. Am I right? So guys, I was reading some of the comments on this one, and I was actually kind of shocked because a few commenters, and a lot of people were agreeing with these commenters, were saying that OP overstepped his boundaries and he should have stayed out of his sister's business, and at the end he ended up getting the in-laws put into an old age home, and that was too far, However, I don't agree with that, and the reason I don't agree is because these people were so toxic, they didn't love him for who he was just because of his sexuality, and they wanted to ruin his life, and all he did was just expose them for who they were by capturing what they were saying on TV and using the CCTV footage to present it, well, in front of a lot of people on social media. Guys, I do want to know your thoughts on this story. If you were in OP's position, how would you navigate this battlefield that we found ourselves in? My name is Mr. Reddito, and if you guys are new to the channel, I narrate stories like this every day. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want more daily videos, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and of course remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.